Good evening, all of you. Thank you for being there. Unfortunately, I couldn't inform many of you today about the session, but I hope most of you would already know. So chapter 6 and 10, part 2 is what we'll do. Chapter 6 has very less discussion, so hopefully another 1 hour and we should be done. So in chapter 10, last time we started with education and we covered it up on education. Now today we will talk about labor and employment. That is one more thing in chapter 10 that they have covered, labor and employment, and there are some interesting data that economic survey gives. Again, बहुत ज़्यादा importance मत देना, थोड़े से data हैं जो मैं तुमसे share कर रहा हूँ, कुछ concepts हैं जो share कर रहा हूँ. There are few data I am sharing, some concepts I am sharing. Nothing more than that will be required. So don't give a lot of importance to the numbers, but some concepts you should know. तो इन्होंने क्या किया? They have used the periodic labor force survey data, periodic labor force survey data, which is published since 2017 with respect to all the changes that we would talk about. And this is with respect to age 15 and above. Few trends you should keep in mind. This is again, I repeat, this is for age 15 and above. That the population is covered, that those who are above 15 are taken to be a part of working age. जो भी लोग 15 वर्ष से ऊपर हैं उन्हें माना जाता है कि वो वर्किंग एज में हैं. तो 15 से लेकर 59 तक को वर्किंग एज ग्रुप माना जाता है किसी भी इकोनॉमी में. गुड इवनिंग ऑल ऑफ यू, थैंक यू फॉर ज्वाइनिंग, ग्रेट टू सी यू ऑल टू. गुड इवनिंग. सो व्हेन वी लुक एट दिस, द सर्वे सजेस्ट्स that overall the unemployment rate that is total number of people unemployed as a proportion of total labor force, unemployment rate, that is total number of people unemployed as a proportion of total labor force. Mind you that total number of people unemployed as a proportion of total labor force, that was falling between 1819 and 1920, fell between 1819 and 1920, but rose sharply because of the COVID pandemic. In 2021, there is one more thing that they define, that labor force participation rate, and this labor force participation rate is again number of people employed, जिन लोगों के पास काम है, plus number of people actively looking for work, जो लोग काम ढूंढ रहे हैं, अपने आप को वर्कफोर्स से बाहर नहीं कर रहे. नंबर ऑफ पीपल एक्टिवली लुकिंग फॉर वर्क एज अ प्रपोर्शन ऑफ टोटल पॉपुलेशन, एंड बाय पॉपुलेशन हियर इट मीन्स द वर्किंग एज ग्रुप. तो वर्किंग एज के जितने भी लोग काम ढूंढ रहे हैं या जो काम कर रहे हैं, they are a part that is taken as labor force participation rate. And when it goes to employment rate or workforce participation rate, then workforce participation rate is percentage of employed persons in total population. These are some definitions that economic survey gives us. Workforce participation rate is total number of employed, total percent of employed in entire population, total percent of employed in entire population. So these are the workforce participation rate, labor force participation rate, और ये सभी बढ़ते रहे हैं पिछले 3 सालों में. So the survey suggests that these numbers have consistently gone up except April to June 2020. So workforce participation rate and labor force participation rate has also continuously gone up except June 2020. All right. That is the basic idea. All right, due to June 2020. So it has been consistently rising. It here represents WPR. It can also represent labor force participation rate. Since 2018-19, except April to June 2020. ये कुछ facts है जो तुम्हें याद रहना चाहिए. These are some of the facts that you should remember. You know, these are some basic facts that you should remember. तो ये कुछ basic facts याद रखो, हमारे लिए ये काफ़ी हैं. So these are some basic facts that you should remember. Then, you know, they give you trend in employment, unemployment, urban employment. Avoid them. You don't need them at all, whether from prelims or mains point of view. So my suggestion is do not spend any time doing that. Also, regarding Manrega, the maximum, that is another thing you should know now, that when it comes to demand for Manrega related jobs, the demand for jobs peaked in the June-August period. After that, you know, it peaked between April to July period in 2020. April-July 2020. It has come down after that, but it is still higher than the pre-COVID level, you know, and it is still higher than pre-COVID level. So this is something that will come handy. Please remember this, कि मनरेगा के जो डिमांड था वेज का, लेबर का, जॉब्स का, वो बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ा 2020 के अप्रैल जुलाई के पीरियड में, और उसके बाद ये नीचे तो आया है, लेकिन अभी भी ये पहले जो प्री कोविड पीरियड था उसके ऊपर ही है. सो दैट इज़ अनदर ट्रेंड दैट यू शुड कीप इन माइंड. Very good evening to all of you joining now. Pre will not be postponed, cool boy. मत चलना उस सब चक्कर में. The cases are rising at the moment, but the pandemic has shown that maybe a month or so and it starts declining, and the hospitalization rates are very low. So be very careful. वो नहीं postpone करेंगे, ऐसा हो सकता है. अपने preparation को ज़बरदस्त तरीके से जारी रखो. Prepare with all the zeal. All right, and good evening everyone joining me now. Okay. Coming to this now, so this is another thing to keep in mind, that is with respect to employment. एक और बात जो तुम्हें याद रखनी है, ये भी ध्यान रखना, इकोनॉमिक सर्वे वो डेटा देता है, that formal employment has been 89%, informal sector has been, formal employment has been 11%, informal has been 89%. You know, so it's almost like this, that out of the total workforce of India in 2019-20, for which they have the data, 2019-20 जिसके लिए इनके पास data है, तो out of total workforce of India, which was around 53 crore people, जो 53 crore का total workforce था, उसमें से out of this 53 crore people, approximately 5 crore, 5.89 crore are in formal sector and 47 crore in informal. So 6 crore approximately in formal and 47 crore in informal. ये numbers थोड़े दिमाग में रखोगे, कभी-कभी prelims में test कर लेते हैं हमें. Sometimes they push us in the prelims exam on this. Similarly, they have given numbers on organized and unorganized workforce. You know, the way they have given it to us on formal, informal. Similarly, they have given numbers on organized and unorganized workforce. Approximately 18% workers, 19% workers in the unorganized sector, organized sector, and 82% in the organized sector. You know, so 18% in the organized sector, 82% in the unorganized sector. That is how they have defined it. And that is around 9.5 crore here, that is in the organized sector, and approximately 44 crore here. So this is how this 53 crore, 53.5 crore workforce has been distributed. तो एक तो ये टेबल दिमाग में रख लेना, इनफॉर्मल कितने, फॉर्मल कितने, ऑर्गेनाइज्ड कितने, अनऑर्गेनाइज्ड कितने, पीरियड. ज़रूरत नहीं इससे ज़्यादा जानने की और ना ही कोशिश करना, कोई फ़ायदा नहीं होगा. एक और बात जो हमें वो बताते हैं, there is another thing that they tell us very well, that is that they say that there are some schemes for social protection of the workers, and there are two schemes that they mention which you should keep in mind. This will help you in your mains exam also. So there are two specific schemes that they mention, schemes for social protection, schemes for social protection of workers. बहुत सारे डेटा देते हैं इकोनॉमिक सर्वे में, मत पढ़ने की ज़रूरत नहीं है तुम्हें, मत पढ़ना. It doesn't help your cause in the exam. So the data can be easily avoided. You can very well solve the rest of the things, that will be sufficient. So when it comes to the social protection part, one is Pradhan Mantri Shram Yogi Man Dhan Yojana. ये एक important चीज़ introduce की है सरकार ने, प्रधान मंत्री श्रम योगी मान धन योजना. So this is one thing that survey mentions, and the Pradhan Mantri Shram Yogi Man Dhan Yojana has been launched from March 2019, and it's a contributory and voluntary pension scheme. Voluntary, introduced from March 2019, voluntary and contributory pension scheme that even the unorganized sector workers can contribute in it, and they can earn their pensions from it after attaining the age of 60 years. So pension of 3,000 per month, 3,000 per month after 60 years of age to those who do not get any protection from the formal sector. That is what it is done for, that employees who are not a member of EPFO और ESIC, जो सरकार के संस्थान हैं, अगर उसके मेंबर आप नहीं हैं, प्रोविडेंट फंड का नहीं, आपका कोई प्रोविडेंट फंड अकाउंट नहीं है, आपका कोई स्टेट इंश्योरेंस कॉर्पोरेशन में अकाउंट नहीं है, then they get this possible overture where they can contribute the monthly, and whatever they contribute, 50% contribution will be done by the government. So it will be shared 50-50 between beneficiary and government, as in whatever contribution the beneficiary has to makes, government will also match it. आप ऐसा समझ लो कि अगर बेनिफिशियरी ने जो भी कंट्रीब्यूशन दिया वो सरकार भी मैच करेगी. Alright, so whatever contribution the beneficiary makes, the government will match it. It will be 50-50 contribution. तो ज़्यादा पैसे बढ़ते हैं beneficiaries के लिए, और ये उनके लिए बढ़िया है. And the enrollment is done through common service centers. People can enroll themselves into it, and that is the method to uplift them. Till 17th January 2022, the economic survey suggests that 46 lakh people had enrolled. So till January 2022, 46 lakh enrollment were there. And the interesting thing is that in this 46 lakh people who were enrolled, 24 lakh are women and 22 lakh are men. So women are enrolling even more in the scheme compared to men. So this is for the casual workers, construction labor, and so on. That is Pradhan Mantri Shram Yogi Man Dhan Yojana. This is one thing you should keep in mind. It is picking up, and they just might ask you this in the prelims. If they don't ask you it in the prelims, ये ज़रूर appear होना चाहिए आपके मेंस के आंसर शीट में, क्योंकि यही अब लेटेस्ट है. तो जो लेटेस्ट बातें होती हैं प्रोटेक्शन की, वो ज़रूर पुट करो अपने आंसर शीट में. And then there is another scheme that they talk about. It's connected to the Shram Yogi Man Dhan Yojana. That is National Pension Scheme for traders, shopkeepers, and self-employed people. National Pension Scheme for traders, shopkeepers, and self-employed. Again, the condition is that they should not be enrolled in a formal pension scheme. ये किसी EPFO वगैरह के पार्ट नहीं होने चाहिए. तो जितने भी लोग हैं, अगेन ये वॉलंटरी कंट्रीब्यूशन है, so voluntary and contributory. it is voluntary and it is contributory, both. It is voluntary scheme and it is contributory scheme. Both of it has been done. And again, 3,000 rupees pension after 60 years of age with whatever contribution you have done, and that contribution will be a fixed amount. वो contribution जो है वो एक fixed amount होगा, तो जो भी आपने contribution दिया उसके basis पर ये पैसे मिलेंगे आपको. And as I said again, that the equal matching contribution will be done by the government also. Whatever is the contribution done by the beneficiary, equal matching contribution will be done by the government also. Please remember that. Then of course they talk about e-Shram portal. This is again a big beginning in India. This is to create a database, e-Shram portal. This is to create a database for unorganized workers. ये बनाया गया है कि एक database बने unorganized workers का. This is to create a database for unorganized workers. That is what it has been launched for. And this is a national database. And that is to facilitate the delivery of social schemes. The purpose is to facilitate delivery of social schemes. That is another purpose of it, कि जो social schemes हैं उनकी delivery facilitate हो, जल्दी workers तक ये पहुंच सके. And this database will include Manrega workers, gig workers, digital unorganized sector workers. It will also include Anganwadi workers. It will also include the agricultural workers. So all those workers who are otherwise not recorded in the formal enterprises will be a part of this e-Shram portal. And the idea is that both central and state ministries will be able to use it for the purpose of delivery mechanism of specific social security services. And all workers who are registered here will be covered by an accidental insurance of 2 lakh rupees. So all workers covered, registered, will be covered by an insurance of rupees 2 lakhs. So the purpose again is to add to their social security, that if there is a sudden accident or sudden demise of the worker, then the workers will get an accidental insurance cover of 2 lakh rupees. So this is covered under an accidental insurance cover. अगर accident से कोई death हो गई, damage हो गया, तो 2 लाख तक का मिलेगा पैसा. और ये cover करने वाली scheme है PM सुरक्षा बीमा योजना. इस coverage में worker को कोई पैसे नहीं देने हैं. In this coverage, the worker doesn't have to pay any money. So these are main factuals that you should keep in mind. Again, till 18th January 2022, 22.8 crore workers had registered themselves. Till 18th January 2022, 22.85 crore workers had registered. So approximately 23 crore workers had registered. So please keep that in mind. Please keep that in mind. These are some factuals from survey on employment that you should keep in mind. It will help you. Then, on health sector, they have talked about the programs in health sector, but all the programs they talk about are something which are already in business, like Ayushman Bharat health and wellness centers, creating more than 1,50,000 health and wellness centers all over India for earlier diagnosis and primary healthcare treatment to the people. Similarly, Ayushman Bharat Jan Arogya Yojana, that is under which 5 lakh families will be, up to 5 lakh rupees will be given to the bottom 40% families of India, which is around 10 crore plus families, and they will be given a floater insurance on a year by year business. Also, in 2021, they conducted a scheme called Aapke Dwar Ayushman to register more and more people in the Ayushman Bharat Yojana. And then there is the Bharat Health Infrastructure Program, and there is the Swasthya Suraksha Yojana, which are implemented all over the country to construct AIMS, to give medical facilities to the poor. And 16 AIMS are already have been sanctioned, and and 6 AIMS are already functional. So these are informations they give, but if you ask me, I think it will not be very useful there. E-Sanjeevani you should keep in mind. E-Sanjeevani is with respect to a portal that has been created by the government in COVID-19 pandemic to enable patient to doctor teleconsultation. तो E-Sanjeevani एक नाम याद रख लो, but उससे ज़्यादा मुझे ऐसा नहीं लगता that you will be asked much of it. Shantanu, if you could please check, I have informed you about organized versus formal. Organized is based on, for all of you who may be struggling, जब आप यूज़ करते हो वर्ड ऑर्गेनाइज्ड, उसका मतलब होता है एनी इंस्टीट्यूशन हायरिंग मोर देन 20 पीपल और एनी इंस्टीट्यूशन हायरिंग मोर देन 10 पीपल एंड यूजिंग इलेक्ट्रिसिटी एज एन इनपुट. और अगर यूज़ करते हो फॉर्मल, तो भारत में हम बोलते हैं दैट इज institutions which are registered with Employees Provident Fund Organization और with Employees State Insurance Corporation. तो जो registered हैं EPFO या ESI के IC के साथ वो formal, जो नहीं है वो informal, और जो लोग 20 से ज़्यादा workers यूज़ करते हैं या 10 से ज़्यादा workers यूज़ करते हैं और साथ में electricity भी यूज़ करते हैं as input, वो organized, rest unorganized. I hope this can help you, remember things better. एक और बात जो आपको याद रखनी है इसमें, जो मैं आपको एम्प्लॉयमेंट में बताना भूल गया, जब भी पूछेंगे हु इज़ द लार्जेस्ट एम्प्लॉयर आफ्टर एग्रीकल्चर, एग्रीकल्चर तो है ही लार्जेस्ट एम्प्लॉयर, आफ्टर दैट द लार्जेस्ट एम्प्लॉयर इज अदर services which are private sector services like tuitions, beauty salons, communication. Other services is the largest employer, and then manufacturing is the employer, then construction is the employer, followed by manufacturing. तो ये 3-4 डेटा दिए हमें, पर मुझे उम्मीद कम है that prelims they will push you on that. Then there is a lot of data further given on life expectancy, sex ratio, total fertility rate. My suggestion is that those data are not needed from here. Of late we have seen that the data are not being asked. फिर भी कुछ डेटा नेशनल फैमिली हेल्थ सर्वे 5 से लेकर जो दिए हैं उन्होंने, मैं आपसे क्विकली शेयर कर लेता हूं, क्योंकि बहुत ज़्यादा कुछ आ गया तो उसे आपसे कोट करके पूछ लेंगे. सो अंडर 5 child mortality, that is children below 5 who die out of 1,000 children born. So under 5 child mortality rate has come down, in India from 49.7 to 41.9, so has reduced from 49.7 in 2015-16 to 41.9 in 2020-21, so 19-20, I'm so sorry. So एक तो ये याद रख लो, ऐसी छोटी छोटी बातें कभी कभी स्टेटमेंट के फॉर्म में प्रीलिम्स में पूछ लेंगे कि ऐसा हुआ है या नहीं हुआ. तो अगर हमें पता है कि ऐसा हुआ है, that makes life easier for us. So if we know that it has happened, it becomes relatively easier. Similarly, infant mortality rate has gone down from 40.7 to 35.2 in the same time period. Infant mortality rate declined from 40.7 2015-16 to 35.2 2019-20. There is another thing you can keep in mind, because again, in case they push you on that, you should know. Also, the stunting among children has declined from 38% to 36%, in the same time period. Stunting declined same time period mein from 38% to 36% of the children, and wasting of children has declined. Wasting declined from 21% to 19%. ये सारी चीज़ें in between 2015-16 to 2019-20. यही आपको याद रखना है. More than sufficient. You don't have to bother more than this. अगर ये बेसिक बातें भी आपको याद है, हमारे लिए काफ़ी होगा हमारे सिस्टम में. And life expectancy of India has comparatively gone up from 69 years to 69.4 years. So that is something that it has gone up. It is 72.6 years in urban areas and 68 years in rural areas. तो एक ये discussion आप दिमाग में रख लोगे, that if it is life expectancy has increased continuously. Again तुमसे numbers नहीं पूछेंगे, ये डेटा पूछेंगे जो आपको, ये conclusions पूछेंगे जो पता होना चाहिए. And higher in urban areas compared to rural areas. higher in urban areas compared to rural areas. These are the things that we need to keep in mind. So life expectancy in urban areas is almost 73 years, while in rural areas it is 68 years. So 72.6 years here and 68 years here. But मुझे उम्मीद कम है कि numbers पूछेंगे तुम्हें, trend पूछने की उम्मीद है. That I don't think they will be asking you a number, they just might ask you a trend overall. Also remember, the best performing states as usual are Kerala and Tamil Nadu, Himachal Pradesh. These 2-3 states have been best performing in health indicators, and Bihar, Jharkhand and Uttar Pradesh are the bottom 3 in the overall health indicator. So these are some basic information that you should keep in mind. Then they have given one full discussion on Jal Jeevan Mission that you should keep in mind. There is a complete discussion on Jal Jeevan Mission. Again, since it is a flagship program of the government, अभी करंट सरकार ने उसे शुरू किया है, तो इसके आने के चांसेस हमेशा ही ज़्यादा होते हैं. साथ में इस साल इस जल जीवन मिशन के लिए जो बजट है वो 48,000 करोड़ जो पिछले साल था उससे बढ़ाकर 60,000 करोड़ कर दिया गया है. So there has been a 25% increase in the budget of Jal Jeevan Mission this year, and that again makes Jal Jeevan Mission an important thing to cover from our exams point of view. So one thing they say is that this is a part of ease of living, that how to make people live easily, how to add value to their life. The Jal Jeevan Mission is a part of that. Some typical features are that shift the focus of water supply from habitations to households. Institutions में supply करने की जगह कुछ features दिए economic survey ने जो आपके लिए useful होंगे. One feature is shift the focus of water supply from habitation to households. From habitation to households. तो एक ये फीचर दिया उन्होंने. दूसरा फीचर दिया हैबिटेशन टू हाउस होल्ड, मतलब पहले स्कूल्स तक जाते थे, पंचायत तक जाता था पानी की सप्लाई और लोग वहाँ से लेकर आते थे. अब लोगों के तक पहुँचे वाटर सप्लाई घर तक, so नल से जल, हर घर नल, that kind of a thing, that every house should have a tap and water should come from the tap. So rather than people having to go to hand pumps or public stand posts, now it is about going to everyone properly. Also, it is focused on assured supply of potable water. Drinking water supply पे focused हैं. Focused on assured supply of potable water. सभी को पीने का पानी मिले, इस पे focus है. Assured supply of potable water, focused on assured supply of potable water. So the idea is service delivery and then functionality, कि सर्विस तो डिलीवर हो ही, साथ में फंक्शनल सर्विस डिलीवर हो, लोगों के लिए यूजफुल हो. Then community ownership, operation and maintenance of entire system with community ownership. That is the third thing introduced, community ownership. The rural community will own it for all operation and maintenance. तो जो भी ऑपरेशन होगा, मेंटेनेंस होगा, वो कम्युनिटी देखेगी, जिससे डिसेंट्रलाइज्ड सिस्टम चले, देरी ना लगे चीज़ों के ठीक होने में. इट शुड नॉट डिले the improvement on things, repair work, maintenance. So that is another thing that has been done. And then the central role is for women with minimum 50% participation in the water samitis and all. So dominant role for women. That's another focus area, gender equity, that women should be the members of village water samitis, women should be the members of sanitation committee, to make sure that women can have representation in decision making. And then it says that there will be priority to villages which have water quality problems. Priority to villages and towns, priority for villages and towns with water quality problems. ये 5-6 पॉइंट्स हमेशा याद रखने चाहिए. अगर किसी स्कीम पे लिखने को आया तो तुम लिख पाओगे अच्छे से. जब तुम किसी स्कीम पे आंसर लिखते हो, अगर पिन पॉइंटेड कुछ पॉइंट लिखते हो उसके बारे में तो तुम्हें ज़्यादा नंबर मिलते हैं. एक और, गिविंग टेस्टिंग किट्स for proper surveillance of water quality. Provision of testing kits, लोगों को टेस्टिंग किट्स दिए जाएंगे कि पानी की जो क्वालिटी है उसको जांच कर सके फॉर सर्विलियंस ऑफ वाटर क्वालिटी. तो ये भी ज़रूरी एक बात है, बिकॉज if people get themselves to check whether they are getting good water or not, better reportage will take place. And then making water everybody's business by participation. You know that सबको participation करने की बात हो, community mobilization and raising awareness. So that is the other aspect, making water everybody's business by participation. Making water everybody's business बाय पार्टिसिपेशन. तो ये पक्का करें कि पानी जो है वो सब तक पहुँचे, ये कोशिश की जानी चाहिए और सब लोग उसको लेके कंसर्न रहें. सो दीज आर द थिंग्स दैट हैव बीन गिवन. एंड देन टेक्नोलॉजिकल सपोर्ट बाय क्रिएटिंग डिजिटल डैशबोर्ड, पोर्टल्स एंड सो ऑन. सो कंप्लीट टेक्नोलॉजिकल सपोर्ट. These are typical features of Jal Jeevan mission. Please keep them in mind. I have a feeling they have already asked it once, they can ask it again. So it's like dashboard, mobile app, everything created for it, so that people can respond, people can be aware, people can participate in the decision making. So these are some features you can write. I believe that once you have covered these, it will be good enough to develop things. Then they have talked about Swachh Bharat Gramin mission. They have talked about electricity and clean cooking fuel. But again over here they don't give us anything new. It's all the same thing that they give. So in that case we do not get huge value addition. तुम चाहो तो इसे safely skip कर सकते हो. एक उन्होंने बॉक्स दिया है प्रधानमंत्री ग्राम सड़क योजना पर, वो बॉक्स रीड कर सकते हो. You have got it in the summary also that I have given you. The Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana, just remember that currently we are in Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana 3. This started in 2019 and this will go on till 2025. We are in the third phase of Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. 2019 it started and 2025 it will go on till, and it implies it will consolidate 1,25,000 kilometers of existing routes and major rural links, and also it will connect them to agricultural markets, higher secondary schools and hospitals. तो बस एक ये बात याद रखोगे अपनी ज़रूर, जो इकोनॉमिक सर्वे ने कहा कि प्रधानमंत्री ग्राम सड़क योजना के फेज़ 3 में हैं हम लोग. ये 2019 में शुरू हुआ, 2025 तक चलेगा. We are in phase 3 of Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana, started in 2019, will go on till 2025. Hello Vikas, good to see you too. Participative democracy, why not Shetank? Sure. Correct Richa, correct, you are right, the poverty ratio has gone in like that. Ministry of Jal Shakti, you are right. Arun, you are right. Then, so when we look at it, we talk about the Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana phase 3, where they say consolidation of 1,25,000 kilometers of rural roads. Consolidation of 1,25,000 kilometers of rural roads, linking to focus on linking to higher secondary schools. So that is the focus area, higher secondary schools, Gramin agricultural markets, etc. That is where healthcare centers, etc. That is the feeling, that is the focus that has been given on that. So these are few things. Then remember the multidimensional poverty index they have talked about. Multidimensional poverty index started by Niti Aayog, they have talked about. You just have to remember 2-3 things on that. That in this National Multidimensional Poverty Index, National Multidimensional Poverty Index, initiated 2021, publishing agency Niti Aayog, in collaboration with the original publishers of Multidimensional Poverty Index, that is UNDP, United Nations Development Programme, and OPHI, Oxford Poverty and Human Development Initiative. You know, Oxford Poverty and Human Development Initiative. And then there are two extra indicators. Economic survey ये नहीं बताता, लेकिन मैं आपको ये बता देता हूँ. Two extra indicators used in health apart from the normal indicators of multidimensional poverty index. The extra indicator is antenatal care. तो health में nutrition तो है ही, under 5 child mortality तो है ही, साथ में antenatal care भी है. Alright, this is one extra indicator used in health. और standard of living में जो 6 indicators UNDP use करता है वो तो है ही. The 6 indicators used by UNDP already exist. A 7th indicator has been added in that, which is accessibility to banking. So in Indian National Multidimensional Poverty Index, these are the two changes that have been brought about. That in health sector indicator, antenatal care has been added, and standard of living, accessibility to banking has been added. Kerala takes the top spot, followed by Puducherry, followed by Daman and Diu, and of course Dadra and Nagar Haveli, but the data was collected on Daman and Diu separately. And the bottom 3 are Bihar, Jharkhand, and Uttar Pradesh. So these are the top 3 and bottom 3. Kerala, Puducherry, Daman and Diu, top 3. बिहार, झारखंड, उत्तर प्रदेश, बॉटम 3. इतनी बातें अगर याद हैं तो प्रीलिम्स के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से तुम सेफ हो. चलो अब एक आगे बढ़ते हैं चीज़ों पे. वी टॉक नाउ अबाउट चैप्टर 6. एज आई टोल्ड यू, देर आर वेरी फ्यू थिंग्स इन चैप्टर 6 that you need to know, because the chapter is mostly based on sustainable development and climate change, and the information it gives again is something that is already in public domain. There is not much of a new information that we get in it. Few things from again prelims point of view that you can focus upon on page 206. You know, this is chapter 6. Few things, as I told you, we need to cover upon. So on page 206, they give us a number that is top 5 states in India by absolute forest cover. Top 5 states in India by absolute forest cover. तो अगर वो ये देते हैं top 5 states by absolute forest cover, you know, तो मध्य प्रदेश obviously high because of its overall size. You know, Madhya Pradesh is on top, you know, because unka absolute size of the state is huge. So the forest cover terms, they have a larger number, no doubt about it. You know, and then followed by Arunachal Pradesh, Chhattisgarh. You know, Madhya Pradesh, Arunachal Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Orissa is the 4th one. You know, Madhya Pradesh, Arunachal Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Orissa, and then Maharashtra, the 5th one. So these are the top 5 states in India in terms of absolute forest cover. कि total forest cover के terms में top 5 कौन है. इसी तरह से top 5 states हैं as cover as a part of percentage of state geographical area. You know, top 5 states with highest forest cover, as a percentage of total geographical area. एक ये भी दे रखा है उन्होंने, top 5 states as a percentage of total geographical area. So Mizoram is the highest, 84% area under forest cover. followed by Arunachal Pradesh, then Meghalaya, Manipur and Nagaland. So that comes in as Mizoram, 84% of total area of the state under forest cover, followed by Arunachal Pradesh, 78% of the area of the state under forest cover, so large area covered, followed by Meghalaya, 76% under forest cover, followed by Nagaland, that is followed by Manipur, that is 74%, and Nagaland, which is 73%. So Manipur 74% of the area under forest cover and Nagaland 73%. तो ये दो बातें आपको याद रखनी है, हाईएस्ट फॉरेस्ट कवर एरिया के टर्म्स में किसका है और हाईएस्ट फॉरेस्ट कवर परसेंटेज ज्योग्राफिकल एरिया कवर्ड के टर्म्स में किसका है. अगर ये दो बातें आप याद रख लेते हो तो भी हमारे लिए काफ़ी है. Then remember, when we talk about, they talk about the points on plastic waste management, but again there are too many programs that they mention that have been going on since some time, so there is not much that you can bring across, but few I am bringing for you. You know, few I can bring for you, that for plastic waste management and elimination of identified single use plastics, for plastic waste management and identifying the single use wastage of single use plastics. That is, these are the two things. The survey gives you some insight on that, you know. So these are programs against that. All right. So domestic regulations against plastic use. Mind you that in 2021, domestic regulations against plastic use in 2021. So one regulation that they bring across, one regulation that they say, August 2021, the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change notified that the plastic waste management amendment rules prohibiting identified single-use plastic items. You know, so that is one, prohibition of identified single-use plastic items, brought in by Ministry of Environment. So it's Ministry of Environment, Forest and of course Natural Resource, Climate Change that is there. Then another is the thickness of plastic carry bags has been increased from 50 microns to 75 microns from September 30, 2021. Increasing thickness of plastic carry bags from 50 microns to 75 microns, September 2021. The objective is to avoid littering. लोग जो waste कर देते हैं और वो soil में या grass में mix होने लग जाता है और animals वगैरह खा जाते हैं उससे रोकने का तरीका है कि thickness बढ़ा दें of these bags. Then the plastic packaging waste has to be managed environmentally and in a sustainable way under the plastic waste management rules that has been brought in. Rule for waste management, rules for waste management involving plastics. Rules for waste management involving plastics. And then they also have made a guideline or the amendment rule 2021, and October 2021 they passed a separate rule for plastic waste management. You know, this is October 2021, a separate rule was passed for plastic waste management. तो एक तो ये तुम्हारे hopefully mains में थोड़ा मदद कर देगा, but nothing more than that. Then groundwater resource assessment किया है economic survey ने, और उन्होंने कहा है कि overall the groundwater resources have gone up from 58 centimeters to 62. So this is something that groundwater extraction was used to be 58% earlier, is now 62%. So continuous rise in groundwater extraction in India, and in some cases it is over extraction of more than 100%. तो सरकार ने स्टेप लिया है जिसमें उन्होंने क्लासीफाई किया है एक्सट्रैक्शन को. उन्होंने कहा है अगर एक्सट्रैक्शन लेस देन 70% है तो सेफ है. If the extraction of groundwater is less than 70%, it will be treated as in the stage of as a safe. If it is greater than 70% and less than 90%, then it will be taken as beyond safe, as semi-critical. If it is 90% to 100%, it is critical, and if it is above 100%, it is over exploitation. तो ये ग्राउंड वाटर में इंडिया का जो एवरेज है, एक दो बातें आपको याद रखनी है. ग्राउंड वाटर एक्सप्लॉइटेशन में, ग्राउंड वाटर एक्सप्लॉइटेशन अगेन प्रीलिम्स में अगर ऐसी बात आई तो एवरेज फ्रॉम इंडिया average exploitation has increased from 58% in 2004 to 62% in 2019-20. This is one thing that we have observed. Overall, the government has now said that it is considered as safe individual areas if extraction is less than 70% in that area. If extraction is between 70% and 90%, it will be called semi-critical. अगर ये extraction 70% और 90% के बीच में है तो semi-critical. और अगर ये extraction of groundwater 90% से 100% के बीच में है तो critical, जिन भी areas में ये है. और अगर ये extraction ग्रेटर देन 100% हो रहा है तो उसका मतलब आप उसे ओवर एक्सप्लॉइटेशन मानोगे और जल्दी से जल्दी एक्शन लोगे. सो द सजेशन इज दैट एज सून एज इट स्टार्ट्स बिकमिंग सेमी क्रिटिकल, पीपल शुड बी इन्फॉर्म्ड. एज सून एज इट स्टार्ट्स बिकमिंग सेमी क्रिटिकल, एक्शन शुड बिगिन. थैंक यू फिजिक्स ऑन योर टिप्स. ओ विकास, आई सी योर लास्ट स्लाइड थिंग नाउ. एक बार इसे फिर से देख लेना विकास, मैंने अभी देखा तुम्हारा ये मैसेज. Now they go across it. They also say that extraction is exceeding the annually replenishable groundwater change, and this extraction is concentrated a lot in northwest India, mainly Punjab and Haryana are one of the bigger places where it's happening, and then some parts of South India, especially again Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, there are spaces where this is happening quite unevenly. So these are the places where we are suffering with these extractions. Okay. That is one. On rivers, they give us too many things again, but not very useful from your exams point of view. नमामि गंगे मिशन पे पूरे 2-3 पेजेस दिए, लेकिन वही इंफॉर्मेशन दी जो पीछे हम पढ़ चुके हैं आज तक कि 2016 से शुरू हुआ और क्या क्या चीज़ें की गई. So at the moment we don't see much of the information there which can be very useful for you from your current exam point of view. Air pollution, same thing. They have talked about vehicular pollution, industrial emission and all. But again, I think that is not something that helps you a lot from the current exams point of view. There is a box that they give you on national mission under NAPCC. एक ये box वो देते हैं कि National Action Plan on Climate Change. National Action Plan on Climate Change. इसके अंदर एक national जो भी objectives और जो भी missions लिए गए उनकी बात करते हैं. अब ये मिशंस अभी तक सारे वही हैं जो तुम वैसे भी जानोगे. नेशनल सोलर मिशन की बात करते हैं, नेशनल मिशन फॉर एनहांस्ड एनर्जी एफिशिएंसी की बात करते हैं. बट मेरा एक सजेशन है, जब भी तुम्हें टाइम मिले, ये पेज नंबर 220 पे है इकोनॉमिक सर्वे के, और 220 से लेकर पेज नंबर 224 तक है. जब तुम्हें मौका मिले ज़रूर पढ़ लेना. बहुत सारे मिशंस के ऑब्जेक्टिव्स और डिटेल्स, प्रोग्रेस, ये दोनों दे रखा है. तो तुम्हारी एक बेसिक रिवीजन हो जाएगी. जो हम मिशंस लेके परेशान रहते हैं ना कि कहाँ से पता करें, कहाँ से डेटा लाएं, ये एक बड़ा अच्छा कंडेंस्ड व्यू है. दैट दे गिव यू टॉक्स ऑन नेशनल सोलर मिशन, नेशनल मिशन फॉर एनर्जी एफिशिएंसी, फॉर ग्रीन इंडिया, National Mission on Sustainable Habitat, National Water Mission, Sustainable Agriculture, Sustaining Himalayan Ecosystems, and they give you all the details in it. Now I'm deliberately not covering it in the class because it is factual. उसमें कुछ explain करने को नहीं है, तो मैं तुम्हें explain कुछ नहीं कर सकता उसमें, लेकिन prelims और mains दोनों के point of view से ये एक बहुत अच्छा gold mine है मेरे हिसाब से. I believe it's a gold mine that you can get a lot of good facts that you can use in your exam, and you can also solve questions in the prelims exam if any of these missions are covered. Then there is a box 2 that they give us, that is on National Hydrogen Mission. It is for actually clean power generation. So National Hydrogen Mission, they talk about that for generating hydrogen from green energy sources through technological advancements. That is one thing they talk about it. And then they talk about how Indian Railways has set a net zero target so that it can be achieved over a period by 2030. So these are few things I need you to know, that box 2 of economic survey on page 226 227, this is something that I will quickly chalk out for you, क्योंकि इसमें से कुछ चीज़ें हैं जो आपको जानना चाहिए. तो एक तो है नेशनल हाइड्रोजन मिशन, नेशनल हाइड्रोजन मिशन, ये वैसे भी बहुत अच्छे से पढ़ लेना. ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन के बारे में, इंडियन गवर्नमेंट के टारगेटिंग के बारे में, आई एम नॉट गोइंग इनटू इट हियर बिकॉज दिस इज नॉट द डोमेन वेयर वी कैन डिस्कस इट, बट आई विल ट्राई ब्रिंगिंग अ यूट्यूब लेक्चर ऑन दिस very soon to inform you on green hydrogen and its economic implications. I can promise you that before 10th May, I will try bringing a lecture on green hydrogen and its economic implications, half an hour, 25 minutes, and I will try keeping it live. But even if we can't keep it live, I will definitely bring a video on this. I can assure you on that. Now, coming to this, the National Hydrogen Mission is something you should know. Also permitting the hydrogen to be blended with CNG for use of transportation fuel. Permitting blending of hydrogen with CNG. That is what they bring under it. Permitting blending of hydrogen with CNG. Blending of hydrogen with CNG. For in transportation. तो ये एक परमिशन दिया सरकार ने. ऐसे ही एक बात हम पहले डिस्कस कर चुके हैं, वो आपको पता होना चाहिए. इथेनॉल ब्लेंडिंग is targeted now. Ethanol blending is targeted at 25%, at 20% of fuel. So this is another thing. The survey says it will save import cost. The survey says it will improve cleaner technologies and environment. The survey says it will reduce fossil fuel usage overall by India. ये सब बातें मैं तुम्हें बता चुका हूँ इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में, तो मैं दोबारा इन बातों पे नहीं आ रहा. अभी जो इथेनॉल बिल्डिंग है 2021, the ethanol blending is at 8.5% and expected to reach 10%, by June 2022. ये कुछ बातें आप दिमाग में रख सकते हो. The target is quite ambitious by the government to bring ethanol building part there. And of course, railway targeting a net zero emission target by 2030. Railway targeting net zero by 2030. And they say they will do it in various ways. It's not that they will only reduce their use of coal and diesel. They say that one will be 100% electrification by December 2023. By December 2023, railway is targeting 100% electrification, so use of diesel etc. will be reduced. So this is one thing that they are doing, that already 66% of the routes are electrified. 100% electrification is what the railway is targeting over the period by December 2023. Then three-phase technology for regenerative braking is what will be used. So eliminating the need for separate diesel fueled power cars. So three-phase technology is what the railway is introducing, and this is something that you can again use in your answers for regenerative braking. So that will eliminate the need for a diesel car, regenerative braking. So need of separate diesel car eliminated. Afforestation on railway land, that is another thing that is being targeted. And using LED lights on railway platforms. So it's a lot of effort that is being put that railway reaches a net zero by 2030. All right, reaches a net zero at 2030. Devesh, you can meet me tomorrow 5:30 at Next IAS. Come along, I'll be there. So this is something they tell us. Then there are solar energy programs that they mention, solar top 2 and all. But again, that is not that important, because on solar energy, in any case, we do a lot of things. PM Kusum, solar energy development through rooftop solar harvesting. But these are things that you already have read. So economic survey doesn't contribute anything heavily new to this overall. Then they give a topic on finance for sustainable development. You know, that is what they give as a topic, finance for sustainable development. So that is, and again, something that again the programs have to be kept in mind, that how the finance for sustainable development can be arranged and can be developed. You know, finance for sustainable development, which can be arranged and can be developed. So if you look at it, one thing they say is dealing with financial risks associated with climate change. You know, one is this. These are the finance for sustainable development. Dealing with, ये आपके पेपर 3 में काफ़ी काम आ सकता है GS के, क्योंकि वहाँ कभी कभी आउट ऑफ बॉक्स ऐसे क्वेश्चन पूछे जाते हैं. So dealing with financial risk related to climate change. क्लाइमेट चेंज की वजह से जो सडन फाइनेंशियल रिस्क आते हैं एग्रीकल्चर में, फूड प्रोसेसिंग में, एग्रो कमोडिटी इंडस्ट्री में एंड सो ऑन, उनको कैसे डील किया जाए. सो RBI हैज सेट अप अ न्यू सस्टेनेबल फाइनेंस ग्रुप इन May 2021. You know, May 2021, RBI has set up a new financial sustainability group. Set up a new financial sustainability group. Now that's a great news, because in that case we finalize financial sustainability through climate change financing. And this SFG, as it will be called, Sustainable Finance Group, is what it will be called, Sustainable Finance Group. And their target will be to identify all the projects where financing can become an issue in sustainability, and developing cooperation. Government institutions, other central banks can be targeted, foreign banks can be targeted, and gradually everyone brought together. You know, this is with respect to the climate related factors that comes in. You know, so mitigating the climate risk and taking the sustainability of climate financing. Mitigating the climate risks and taking up the sustainability of climate financing. इन दोनों बातों को जोड़ने की कोशिश की गई है. तो एक वो बात है. Another is January 2021 से एक डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ इकोनॉमिक अफेयर्स जो है मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ फाइनेंस में, उन्होंने एक टास्क फोर्स का निर्माण किया है. So that is second one that has been done for climate financing, that is augmenting finance for sustainable development. Augmenting finance for sustainable development. अब पता है क्या, अगर कभी 150 नंबर का सवाल पूछ लिया फाइनेंशियल ऑफ क्लाइमेट चेंज, तुम्हारे पास अपने ये केस स्टडी वाले 100 वर्ड हो जाएंगे, तुम्हारा आंसर जबरदस्त हो सकता है इससे. You know, you will have your own 150 words on sustainability of climate finance and all, and you will talk about the institutions created, the ministries concerned, and that gives your answer much more weight compared to a generalized answer that we write. So when we say financing for sustainable development, that is dealing with that is related to January 2021. Task force appointed by Department of Economic Affairs in Ministry of Finance. You know, task force appointed by Department of Economic Affairs, Ministry of Finance. So the terms of reference include defining the framework. You know, the task force job is purpose, that why this task force has been created. The purpose has been to that defining the framework for sustainable finance, defining the framework for sustainable finance. That is one thing that has been done. The second thing that has been done in this, apart from defining the framework for sustainable finance, their objective is to establish the basic pillars for a roadmap for sustainable finance, establishing basic pillars to design a roadmap for sustainable finance. बेसिक पिलर्स मीन्स किस तरह से सस्टेनेबल फाइनेंसिंग को पैसे दिए जाएंगे, क्या क्या सोर्सेज ऑफ फाइनेंसिंग होगी, कौन से इंस्टीट्यूशंस इन्वॉल्व होंगे उसमें, ये है बेसिक फ्रेमवर्क जिसकी बात होती जाती है. एंड देन सजेस्टिंग अ टैक्सोनॉमी ऑफ एक्टिविटीज एंड अ फ्रेमवर्क ऑफ रिस्क असेसमेंट. सजेस्टिंग टैक्सोनॉमी ऑफ एक्टिविटीज कि कौन से एक्टिविटीज सस्टेनेबल फाइनेंसिंग में आएंगे, एक्टिविटीज फॉर सस्टेनेबल फाइनेंस. एंड ऑफ कोर्स apart from that, activities for sustainable finance, and apart from that, bringing across the whole framework, of risk assessment by financial sector. कि किस framework में risk assessment किया जाएगा, risk assessment of financial sector. This is how it goes. तो ये 3-4 बातें याद रख लो. प्रीलिम्स में यही सब हरकतें करते हैं कि कभी कभी हमें कोई अनहर्ड चीज़ पूछ लेते हैं जस्ट टू मेक श्योर कि वो हमें थोड़ा स्टम्प कर सके. और साथ में सरकार ने एक और रूल बनाया है, लिबरलाइजिंग एक्सटर्नल कमर्शियल बोरोइंग रूल्स फॉर सस्टेनेबल फाइनेंसिंग. कि अगर आप ग्रीन प्रोजेक्ट के लिए फाइनेंस ढूंढ रहे हो, देन लिबरलाइजिंग एक्सटर्नल कमर्शियल बोरोइंग रूल्स फॉर सस्टेनेबल फाइनेंस. अगर आप किसी ग्रीन प्रोजेक्ट के लिए फंडिंग ढूंढ रहे हो तो आपके एक्सटर्नल कमर्शियल बोरोइंग रूल्स को लिबरलाइज कर दिया गया है बाय द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया. So these are some good ideas. In fact, if you must have heard a term called ESG very often, environment, social and governance, becoming very popular in India and world of course. And this is again something that comes under sustainable financing, sustainable development, environmental needs, governance of the company done properly, and social goals to be kept in mind while developing it. So I think these are all things that are good enough. Also, for the ESG issues, SEBI has allowed a separate unit for investing in resilience for sustainable development. तो वो एक चौथी शुरुआत है भारत में, investing in resilience for sustainable development. ये भी sustainable financing का एक हिस्सा है. Is investing in resilience for sustainable development में, in this whole process, what they have brought in is that the SEBI has allowed it from 2016 that 100 listed entities, the business responsibility report has to be submitted, and that will decide whether they are working on ESG or not. And in May 2021, SEBI has issued new sustainability reporting requirements, and they say that in that case, all the ESG related information will be given to the entire market participants. So May 2021, SEBI has introduced changes in business resilience reporting rules. ये एक चेंज लाए हैं SEBI, suggesting all information on ESG will now be shared with larger number of people. So in that case, more accessibility to information, the marketing agents will be allowed to share it. And in that case, everybody will be able to identify how sustainable, how risky is any project started by a company. किसी project की sustainability कितनी है, risk styles कितने हैं, वो check किया जा सकता है. तो ये financial के ऊपर है, जिसे आप पढ़ सकते हो. उसके बाद उन्होंने एक पेज दिया है सर्वे में, India's initiatives at the international stage, but they are all in public domain, like lifestyle for environment, brought in COP26. So I'm sure that if you have even done your normal homework, you would know these. International Solar Alliance, Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure, you know, but then again, if you have not, then page 231 and 232 will help you quite a bit. But ये दो तीन चीजें आप पढ़ सकते हो. India's initiative, you know, for climate development. So this is what they have done. They have mentioned lifestyle for environment as decided in COP26, International Solar Alliance starting from 2016, the Paris Summit, Coalition for Disaster Resilient Management taken up from 2019 September, and membership has now expanded to 28 countries. So these are all things that you should know about. You know, again, these are older things, hence I am not taking you into that, but these are the things that chapter 6 keeps you on. इससे ज़्यादा चैप्टर 6 में प्रीलिम्स या मेंस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से तुम्हारे लिए ज़्यादा यूजफुल कुछ नहीं है. So with that, I come to an end with this discourse on covering all the chapters of economic survey with you. I can't tell you how much your support has mattered to me, and I will always try making sure that on all events I try coming and connecting to you regarding these. So very soon I will meet you with a new series also, and very soon I'll give you one of the videos on green hydrogen, that I can assure you. But keep preparing well and keep asking your doubts and keep connecting. Bye-bye. Thank you. Have a great evening. Bye-bye again. Thanks a lot for being there. Thank you. Yes, taxonomy is naming something. Correct, Karun. Thank you, all of you. Sudhanshu, Anushka, thank you. Thank you, Varun. You all keep me motivated too. So thank you, Vikash, Vipul, thank you. Thank you all. I'm signing off. You may not hear from me now, but thanks a lot. Bye-bye again. Thank you.